In 1968, the classical album Switched-On Bach redefined the sonic landscape. It was both a technical and artistic tour de force, and created a worldwide sensation. Wendy Carlos' innovation wasn't just playing classical music on Moog synthesizers. Carlos is rarely given credit for the tremendous technical, stylistic, and compositional skill focused on this project. None of her approach was obvious. She had to invent it all. Meanwhile, in Japan, this coup had not gone unnoticed by talented composer Isao Tomita, but his path is far different from his Western counterpart. Tomita is said to have imported a Moog modular system, sight unseen, and at great expense. While Carlos had been a personal friend of Robert Moog, Tomita, without the ability to read the system's meager English documentation, was able to conquer it alone and without support. Carlos' style is intricate and colorful, characterized by modernist sensibility and laser-focused precision. Tomita's style is expansive, impressionistic, and eccentric. He echoes more romantic or formal traditions. It's almost as if both artists have deliberately exchanged each other's cultural expectations and recast them in their own image. They are similar only in the sense that they both employ synthesizers in studios, are masters of classical composition, and exhibit a surprising amount of humor. They are similarly graced with the remarkable ability to conjure real human emotion from the soul of a new machine. Carlos and Tomita both addressed Bach's invention in significantly different ways. I have included links to their versions, but have not attempted to recreate them in any way. The arrangements you are about to hear are stylistic treatments in the spirit of the original virtuosi. Retro computer fans will recognize the use of this Bach invention in the famous Commodore 64 advertisements. This is notable because the 64 was the first computer to include what is arguably a professional-level synthesizer, designed by the founders of the Ensoniq Corporation, and went on to become the best-selling general-purpose computer in history, a record which has not been equaled to this day. The electronic tonalities, and I use the term advisedly, the electronic tonalities you're about to hear represent two sides of the same coin, if this were a multi-track planetarium tape in the 1970s. The first section appropriates the style of Carlos, while the second emulates Tomita. In the initial Carlos-inspired section, pay attention to tempos. I am performing to a very rubato click track, not a lockdown grid that audio workstations enforce on modern music. The feel should be more human and freewheeling, even if the tonalities are not. Also notice the complex but deliberate handoff between timbres inside musical lines and across the stereo sound field. Carlos called this technique hocketing, and it is rarely heard today. Just playing classical music with a synthesizer is not enough to invoke Carlos. That's probably why Switched-On Bach was often lazily imitated but never equaled. The second part, inspired by Tomita, the secret clock at the heart of the universe, comprises a sonic pilgrimage from the Big Bang to the Dark Era and back. Feel free to drift and draw cosmic dream canvases if you are so inclined. Also, enjoy the ability of the Ensoniq ESQ and SQ80 synthesizer to easily recreate Moog modular timbres in the milieu of Tomita and Carlos. As always, this stereo mix is encoded for theater surround sound. Passing it through Pro Logic 2, Surround Master, or the Atmos Dolby Surround setting, or even the old SQ quadraphonic matrix should recover the deliberate spatial cues embedded in the mix and expand the soundscape beyond the confines of your living room into cavernous spaces more suited for deep time. In 1970s planetarium style, I chose to complement Carlos' erudite approach by intellectually bouncing lasers off a mirrored speaker using a genuine Radio Shack surround amplifier. The Tomita-inspired section similarly evokes carefree, lightweight visions of breezy topics like creation, the expanding universe, and a voyage into the deep time beyond the black hole eras of the far future. Imagine, if you will, the dark recesses of a planetarium in the 1970s. The lights dim, and we are confronted with the deep canvas of the night sky. quadraphonic sound swirls as the narrator intones the following. We travel through the vastness of space only to discover that we are traveling through time itself. Although some imagine looming catastrophe, our universe faces an immense future. After 13 billion years, the cosmos is just getting started. The world we inhabit bears witness to this passage of cosmic time. We reckon time by days and the seasons, by trips around the sun. But the universal timekeeper is hidden somewhere deeper. Buried in the very fabric of space-time is embedded a secret clock, guiding, metering, and directing time's arrow from the Big Bang to the summation of all things.